All season long, I have been ragging on Cleveland for being garbage. But even I didn't think Cleveland was so Cleveland that they could screw up getting a trade done by celebrating before turning in the paperwork and missing the deadline. This has nothing to do with this week's picks. I just love telling stories about how garbage Cleveland is. Oh hi, it's your old pal Dolby back for week number 9 in the NFL with my picks. Thank you for coming back to watch. Don't forget the description down below is where you're going to find all the links to all the game lists, the spreads, the lines, everything that you need to make your own ticket. We're at the halfway point of the NFL season and some things are starting to get a little bit easier to figure out. For example, we know that after some early season struggles, Miami has completely given up this season, trading away the only thing in their offense that kind of works in Jay Ajayi for nothing. Literally nothing. Very Miami. We also know that while they're not the unstoppable force that a lot of people thought they were going to be this year, New England is still a team to be reckoned with this season. Also, Cleveland sucks. We know that. We have known that for a long time. But there are still things that we don't know. Are teams like Buffalo or LA for real? They keep winning games, but can it last? Can they have playoff success? We don't know that yet. Will Jacksonville ever have back-to-back wins or losses for that matter instead of the win-loss seesaw that they're on right now? Which Cam Newton will we get in any given game? These are things that we don't know the answer to yet, but every week that goes by, things are going to become a little more clear. But we're also going to keep getting more and more questions. No question that last week went very well if you watched the video. Went 3-0 on Pro Line, including calling that tie within 3 points between Houston and Seattle. And 2-1 on the over-under, thanks to San Francisco not being able to carry their weight for one more touchdown. And against the spread, I was 3-0 as well. So there's a really good chance that if you watched last week's video and went and made some picks, you could have won some money. Straight up for the entire week of week number 8, I finished 11-2, which moves me to 77-42 for the season. Don't forget that you can see all my straight up picks for every game each week on Instagram and Twitter. That's in addition to all the picks that I make in the video that you're watching on either Facebook or YouTube. All right. Let's pick some winners. The nickname Saxonville is incredibly cheesy, but also incredibly accurate. They lead the league with 33 on the season, now going up against Cincinnati, who have given up 22 so far this year. That Jacksonville defense has to be seeing Andy Dalton as a big ginger target this week. And Jacksonville also leading the league in rushing yards, mostly thanks to Leonard Fournette, and that's perfect timing because it seems like Fournette is getting over his injury. He practiced this week. He's looking more and more likely to start against Cincinnati. Jacksonville should be able to control the pace of the game by running the rock with Fournette on offense, letting Blake Bortles work in a couple play action passes here and there, and then just dominating the defense with sacks and hurry-ups and hits and swats and everything else on Andy Dalton. The only chance the Bengals have is their run game because for some reason Jacksonville can get to the quarterback but not to a ball carrier. That said, I'm not so worried about Cincinnati's running game that I won't give up 4.5 and take Jacksonville to win on everything. Oh, just a fun stat for you. Jacksonville 6-1 after the bye against the spread. They had a bye last week. That trend should continue. Before the season, neither Atlanta nor Carolina were Vegas hot favorites to win the Super Bowl this year, but neither of them was exactly scraping down to the bottom of the barrel either. Both have dropped, though, after very unexpected first halves of the season. Atlanta has not played like the team that was one quarter away from winning the Super Bowl last year, and Cam Newton 2 years ago has just continued to decline, but unexpectedly, it seems like we still have this hope that every week Super Cam is going to show up once again. And this year he's just been inconsistent, having great games against teams like Detroit and New England, but looking like a backup at best against teams like Philadelphia and New Orleans. He played a little bit better against Tampa Bay last week, but he's still not the Cam Newton that we expect or that we remember. The Carolina defense, once again, is going to have to do the heavy lifting to take this team to a win and stop Matty Ice, who's also been having an oddly inconsistent season. He hasn't thrown a pick since week 6 against Miami, but this is a strong defense that can force some takeaways. It's almost a pick 'em in this one, especially when you look at the line, but I don't think I can get behind Atlanta's defense. They couldn't stop Josh McCown last week, and I know it was raining and it was weird and it was gross. They just didn't look good. So now they've got to play against Cam Newton, who might have a great game, who might look like a first-round Pro Bowler, or might, at worst, look like Josh McCown. I'm going to take Carolina in this one. Giving up 1.5. I think they win on the spread. I think they win on Pro Line. I think they win 5-6 points. I'm so tempted to take an upset in this one this week. I've gone back and forth on this because at some point this season, San Francisco is going to win a football game. They got smoked the last 2 weeks playing against Dallas and playing against Philadelphia. But before that, 5 games in a row, they finished within 3 points or less. Something has to give at some point, and that something may be new quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, the former backup for Tom Brady, who had a lot of promise, who was making professional prognosticators say that New England needed to trade Tom Brady. Garoppolo was the future. Yeah, we may have spoke too soon on that one, but this could be exactly what San Francisco needs to revitalize that franchise. Problem is, he's not playing this week. He will be probably in week 10, but this week it's CJ Beathard. That's not good. Imagine being a professional athlete, starting a game for your team knowing that they don't think you're very good. That's a really weird position to be in. San Francisco drafted Beathard, and we're looking to him to be their quarterback of the future, and he's played maybe 2 games for them, and they're like, Garoppolo. We're going to go with Garoppolo. That's our guy. He's going to come in, and that essentially means that this could be the last game that CJ Beathard ever starts for San Francisco. That can go one of 2 ways. He can see it as an opportunity. This is basically going to be his resume, a chance for him to get attention from another team. Or it just could be his last NFL game and he doesn't care. How do you get motivated when your employer has already brought in your replacement? And on top of that, he's going to be under fire from the only thing that's really worked other than 1 game with Adrian Peterson for Atlanta so far, and that's the defense. They bring a hell of a blitz, and if they bring it on Beathard, who knows what he's going to do in reaction. I wouldn't be thrilled if I was a San Francisco fan, and I'm definitely not betting on them this week. The only difference is Adrian Peterson. If the good AP shows up, then this one's going to be an ugly blowout. If the dud AP shows up, hey, maybe it's the 6th game this year that San Francisco only lost by 3 points. But either way, I'm going to give up 2.5, take Arizona, and mark them down for a win on Pro Line as well. All right, pools time. It is another short week, only 12 games on the list this time around, so every pick counts. I'm going to take Philly, Houston, and Seattle at home, and LA, Oakland, and Detroit on the road. Remember, if you want to see the rest of my picks straight up for every game, every week, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter for that graphic. And that's what I got this week, guys. What do you got? Leave it in the comments down below, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever. I want to know who you think is a lock to win this week. Do you agree with me on my picks, or do you think that I'm an idiot for taking some of the teams that I've taken? Either way, I want to hear it. So leave it in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell so that we can do this again next week and every week through this NFL season. I'm your old pal Dalby. Hit the links in the description for all the lists, game lines, and everything else for this week. I'll see you on Sunday.
If you want to make sure that you're getting all the lines, spreads, and game lists before anybody else, you got to be an MVP. Follow the link in the description of this video to sign up with WCLC to get alerts, notifications, and emails directly to you with everything that you need to play.